The life expectancy of Indians around 1947 was only 35 years. That's it, let that sink in. 35 years. Today, it is close to 72 years. We have close to doubled our lifespan. But what no one wants to talk about and acknowledge is that more than 60% of deaths in India are coming from non-communicable diseases. Think diabetes, fatty liver, lung disease, heart disease, cancer, etc. What is interesting is that over 5.8 million people are succumbing to these non-communicable diseases before the age of 70. Which puts it at an interesting of 1 in every 4 Indians is a risk of getting one of these before the age of 70. It goes further. 30% of Indians were found to be either obese or overweight in 2025. It's a staggering number in the millions and millions. So what's interesting is we are living longer, right? But this is because life expectancy has increased mainly due to antibiotics, sanitation, infant mortality reduction, and advances in healthcare. But the question is, then why are we unwell for so much longer of our lives? India is actually the largest growing health food market today, at nearly a 20% compounding annual growth rate, which is 3x the time of any other country globally. It was ranked at nearly 36 million in 2024. Yet, while we're living longer and we have the healthiest food available to us in the history of India, we are sicker for much longer. Earlier, we had fewer lifestyle diseases. More deaths were mostly coming from things like infections, accidents, childbirth. But today, while we have longer lives, we are seeing early onset of things like diabetes, obesity, PCOS, heart disease, and multiple other things. And this is concerning. Me and my team have worked with thousands of people, and we said, what could be the underlying cause? There's definitely something going on here. There's a silent epidemic no one is talking about. Why are we getting sicker? And then we thought, what if we weren't getting sicker? What if just that our lives evolved faster than our biology? Because if you think about it, our DNA hasn't changed much in the last 10,000 years. But in the last 50 to 70 years, our environment has exploded. Do you agree? We have found that there are 3 major pillars that affect our lifespan and quality of life. Before we look at this, think about a cheetah running across the dry savannas in Africa. Let's take him, put him in a cage, 10 by 10. Let's change his food. Give him random things at random times. Don't let him sleep when he wants to. What will happen? In a week? Not much. In a month? Not much. But in a year? In 5 years? Now let's look what happened to us as a species. What is the silent epidemic? We like to say we want to eat like our grandparents and live like our grandparents. Our grandparents and parents did not work out. Life was movement. You walked to work, you cycled to work, you washed your dishes and your clothes. Everything was manual. Today, we sit for 8 to 12 hours at least, spend time on our phones. All our chores are automated. And a small percentage of us add movement artificially. Think workout, gym, yoga, etc. Our movement changed as a species, and this has massive metabolic consequences. But it doesn't stop there now, does it? Let's look at food as an environment itself. Our parents and grandparents, food was scarce. Eating out was rare. Indulgent occasions and festivals were once in a while and not weekly indulgences. Snacks were frequent, they were homemade, they were seasonal. But today, food is abundant, overly engineered for overconsumption. All our chores are automated. Food is no longer scarce. Festivals are a daily affair and celebration food is available every day. We have started eating differently than biology needs, and this has massive metabolic consequences. But it doesn't stop there. The third pillar, which has one of the largest effects that nobody seems to talk about, affects our biological clock and our hormonal cycles. Imagine your grandparents for a moment. They woke up early with the sun, worked through the day, started winding down as the sun set. Cortisol naturally rose and waned. They ate food nearly at the same time, slept early, had a consistent sort of lifestyle. Melatonin rose naturally. Insulin sensitivity was normal. Today, we wake with alarms. We are on our phones before your foot hits the ground. We spend the day erratically. Food at odd hours, eating at 10 p.m., 12 p.m. We spend the night scrolling and exposing ourselves to blue light, causing complete change in our biological clock. And it is not only associated with just poor sleep. When we say, but it is so common, we are all getting sick and tired. Are we really? Poor sleep is associated with not just immunity, but how it affects every hormonal cycle, fat storage, hormonal reproduction, inflammation, and absolutely everything that you can think of. When we changed our routine, it had massive metabolic consequences. So what is really interesting is that earlier our routine protected our natural rhythm. Today, unpredictability is normal to us. So we built a non-stop chaotic world that we love to live in, but we still have a 24-hour body. Now this mismatch, it quietly compounds year after year. These three major shifts in the way we live no longer match our biology, our genetics, or the way the human species is supposed to function. But here's where nostalgia kicks in, because we constantly are saying things like, but our grandparents ate like this. Yes, they ate carb-dominant meals, there was low-protein awareness, they had frequent snacking, even late-night dinners, and they were fine. Why? Because their muscles were constantly active. Their insulin sensitivity was high. Their nervous system had physical stress release. And their eating was structured by routine, not temptation. They lived like the human species was meant to live, the way we were built to move and live. Earlier movement, lifestyle, compensated for all their food choices. But today we live in a completely different metabolic. Giving the same diet to a stress-induced person, sedentary, sleep-deprived, is like putting petrol in a diesel engine and then blaming the car or the road. Today we keep complaining about there are so many diseases, there is so much happening. Maybe it's the environment, maybe it's the carbs, maybe it's the genetics, maybe it's our hormones. But I want to ask you, and in a very simple yes or no, I would like you to answer. Because we think for a second that what if what we call disease today is actually something different. So I'm going to ask you very quickly in yes and no. What if disease today was metabolism struggling with excess? Yes or no? What if it was hormones reacting to chronic stress? Yes or no? What if it was our immune system that was just confused by constant inflammation? Yes or no? And what if our bodies have just been designed for scarcity and now they're drowning in abundance? Yes or no? So then this is not failure. Our bodies are not failing. The biology is doing the best it can in the environment it has been given. Because we take the same food, we add in additional inflammatory, highly processed foods, low movement, less sleep, more stress, and we expect to be the same? or are we sicker longer? And this leads to what we are seeing across the board: insulin resistance, fat gain, hormonal disruption, and inflammation. Again, I repeat, this is not failure. This is our body adapting to its unnatural environment. So how do we change? It's simple. Take the 4 pillars that will give you the largest change. More protein, because our muscle is wasting faster than ever. Carbohydrates, adapted to activity and energy expenditure, not temptation. Movement, intentional through the day because life normal provides it for us. And sleep, ideally at a consistent time and a wake time, so that biology can do what it is supposed to do. Because we need to move to eating and living like modern humans who understand how our biology works. Because earlier, life enforced this balance on us. Today we must design it. Our grandparents and parents could live and eat the way they did because life corrected it for them. But us, today, we need to intentionally circumvent what manual labor, scarcity, and routine did for them naturally. So this is no longer about being disciplined in life and being healthy. This is about the core design of the human species. This is about the core design of who we are biologically. Which means that we need to intentionally stop blaming our environment and move to respecting and adopting the evolutionary change required of us today. And then health will no longer feel impossible. In fact, health will start feeling logical, biological even, because we need to stop just putting petrol in a diesel car. And then, as a human species, as life and modern life evolves, we can stop surviving and move to thriving in this modern world. Thank you.